Our movie begins about a man who has a stick, and as soon as he draws anything, it turns into reality. Our movie begins with Kiwon, who is a professional painter, and he is drawing a woman, but while he is drawing her, a luxury car comes, and we find out that inside it is one of the richest people in the area, is sitting next to another woman, and we discover that this woman is Kiwon's ex-girlfriend. He throws him a bundle of money and buys from him the painting that he made, so he can sell it under his own name in exhibitions and earn money from it. He takes the money and leaves, and he get angry and pouch the car that started to scrumple even the door full from the car cause it's a junk. After this, he returns to his home in the artist's district, and we find the difference between the famous and the unknown artists. When he finally reaches his house, the landlord who rented him the place meets him, and he is angry, demanding that Kiwon pay the overdue rent he owes. Here, Kiwon takes out the bundle of money he got and throws it at him, but we discover that he still has not paid for the current month, which ends the next day, but Kiwon tells him tomorrow. Tomorrow? Here, the landlord throws a bottle at him, and instead of throwing it back at him again, Kiwon takes it and puts it in the collection of plastic bottles that he gathers to sell by the kilo. We understand clearly that Kiwon's financial condition is not good at all. After this, we go to the exhibition of paintings, where brothers enter and demand that he display their work there, but the owner refuses and says he will not even respond until they pay. Kiwon then pulls out the rest of the bundle of money and gives it to him. We learn that Kiwon still owes the place money from previous exhibitions that were held for him, where he did not pay anything for his paintings. The man refuses to display any of his work even after taking the money, telling him that this is only a small part of what he still owes for the exhibitions he opened for him in the past. The man also refuses to return the money. Kiwon argues with him, saying that he does not appreciate the value of the art that he is making. The exhibition owner answers by asking, does anyone appreciate it at all? Kiwon replies yes. His blind friend Zhao Ying, the exhibition owner, laughs and says that indeed she is the only one who will ever see his paintings, because she is the only blind in the neighborhood. We then learn that she truly is his friend, and she became blind after an accident when she was young. She admires him, and that is why she always encourages him. We go to her at work, and it appears that she has two bullies who constantly harass her. Kiwon sees them, becomes angry, and treats them the same way they treated her. Here he gets badly beaten, and they strike him until he clearly shows marks of the beating. That same night, Kiwon and his friend are sitting together, and he surprises her by giving her shoes with high heels, just like she always wished for. She really wears them. She becomes very happy, and she begins to dance with joy. While she is dancing, Kiwon comes closer to her, and as soon as they begin to get closer, we see someone watching them. It is a man named Mangik, who lives in the same building with Kiwon, and he is his close friend. Kiwon asks him to go back to sleep, but Zhao Ying, his blind friend, asks to go back home, and indeed she leaves them and returns. While the two friends are sitting together, they complain about their poverty and laugh about it. His friend is following an influencer on his phone and even sends her money. Kiwon laughs at him and tells him, you do not even have money to give her, but his friend replies that by doing this, he will get closer to her and maybe she will love him. Kiwon then asks, do you have any future plans to get money? His friend then comes up with this crazy and funny idea. He wants to buy the largest possible number of lottery tickets. Kiwon makes fun of him, but his friend stops him and tells him not to mock him. They both talk about how they want to become the richest people, to have a family, a house, and many good things. They get carried away with this dream and start drinking heavily until they fall asleep. While they are sleeping, suddenly a strange spaceship appears in the sky. Kiwon wakes up from the sound of it and is shocked by what he sees. He tries to wake his friend, but his friend slept so deeply and he had to solve it by himself, and he gets closer to watch what is happening, and he sees a beam of light shining from the spaceship, from which a strange creature comes down. When Kiwon gets closer to the creature, he pulls out his phone to film it, but he is shocked to see that there are two other creatures as well. His phone has a flash, and the aliens notice the light from the phone. They immediately disappear, but leave behind a strange stick. When Kiwon approaches it, he is surprised by its shape, but he takes it with him and goes back to sleep. When he wakes up, he is still shocked by what he saw. He tells his friend about what happened, but his friend does not believe him. His friend tells him that all the descriptions he gave of the UFO spaceship are exactly the same as the artwork on the painting behind him, and maybe that is what affected his imagination. His friend then leaves for work, and Kiwon is left unsure if what he saw was real or not, but he is shocked when he sees the stick still on his desk, and he realizes that what he saw was not a dream. He goes to the market where he usually sits, and he starts to draw people. When his pen runs out of color, he notices that the stick has the same color. He thinks it can work, so he sharpens it. As soon as it becomes sharp, he starts drawing with it on an extra paper. He draws a circle, but the terrifying thing is that the circle turns into a small stone exactly as he imagined it. He is shocked and tries to draw something else. The first thing that comes to his mind is an apple. As soon as he draws it, the apple comes out of the paper and becomes real. He is shocked again, gathers his things, and and goes back home still stunned by what happened. On the way, he takes his friend with him. When they enter the house, Ki-won tells him to lock the door. He asks his friend to hit him so he can know whether he is dreaming or not. His friend hits him hard, and he realizes that he is not dreaming. He starts telling his friend what he saw, shows him the stick, and tells him that this stick turns anything he draws into reality. His friend answers that the only way to believe him and not think he is crazy or needs to go to the hospital is for him to draw a gold bar for him right now. But the funny thing is that the paper does not produce a gold bar dead. It produces a brick-like stone that has the same description his friend asked for. They throw it away after his friend sees it in the street, crumples it, and throws it aside. While throwing it, someone screams at them in pain and insults them. Turns out to be their landlord, who asks if they threw that brick at him at first. They deny it and try to avoid responsibility, but the landlord picks up the brick from the ground, and it turns out to be a real gold bar. So he puts it in his pocket and leaves. Saying fair mind, they go back inside, and their dreams grow bigger and bigger. Here Ki-won begins to dream bigger, so he draws the villa of his dreams. Suddenly the drawing starts shaking on the paper, and they see that it has transferred into the real place where they live. The villa suddenly appears and becomes real in front of all the people in the artist's market. Everyone is shocked by what they see, and even the police arrive quickly to investigate the matter. Ki-won and his friend rush down to see what is happening, but they try not to reveal that they are the ones responsible. The police try every way to enter the villa, even hitting the doors. During this, Ki-won is very nervous, afraid someone will discover their secret. He finds a hidden button on the stick that removes all the sand that was used for the drawing on the paper. Suddenly the villa disappears by itself, returning everything back to normal. Only then they return home, and their eyes shine with excitement, because now they know what they can ask for next. Ki-won begins to draw bundles of money, and indeed they become real, filling the entire place with cash. They are shocked by what is happening. They try to escape, but they become trapped among the piles of money until it fills the whole place from one night to the next. Ki-won and his friend become the richest men in the artist's neighborhood. They go out wearing rich people's clothes, even buying luxury cars. They go to a real estate exhibition to buy the largest houses offered for sale. At the exhibition, they find Ki-won's ex-girlfriend and her wealthy new partner. They are looking at new houses to move into. The rich man mocks Ki-won and his friend, laughing at their clothes, and asks how a poor failure like Ki-won could even be in such a place, saying that surely he cannot afford a house. Ki-won becomes angry and defiant, so he buys not just one house but two, especially after his friend encourages him to do it. Everyone is shocked when they discover he has that much money, and no one knows where he got it from. Even the rich man cannot afford the house that Ki-won buys. The next day, Ki-won decides to enjoy his money and get married. He organizes a very big wedding party, inviting many people at the party. Zhao Ying, his blind friend, enters. He approaches her, tells her that he loves her and that he wants to marry her. He proposes to her in front of everyone, but he is shocked by her response because she refuses to marry him. She tries to escape the party, but she falls down on the way out. Ki-won runs to her and asks why she did that. She explains to him, once they are outside, that she only refused because she did not want to embarrass him in front of people. She says people would laugh that a rich man like him would marry a poor blind woman like her. She tells him, I am blind. I cannot help you in anything. You should marry someone in your same class and with your same mind. But Ki-won tells her that he only loves her and he will never agree to anyone else. He tells her that he never sold the paintings for money at all. He explains everything to her about the magical stick that he found, saying that it can make everything he draws real and that it fell from aliens. He tells her every detail and that he uses the stick as if it were a pen to draw whatever he wants and make it real. She is amazed, but she does not believe him, so he decides to prove it to her. While this is happening, a spaceship is passing in the sky. Zhao Ying hears it because her sense of hearing is strong, but Ki-won does not notice it. When he looks, he finds nothing, so he decides that the only way to prove it to her is to bring back her eyes. The next day, he begins to draw a pair of eyes, but the eyes are not hers. They are just the most beautiful eyes he has ever seen. After working for a long time, he finishes, and everyone looks at the drawing. Suddenly, the eyes become real, but not on Zhao Ying's body. Instead, they appear on his friend's arm. His friend screams and tells him to erase them quickly. Ki-won erases them, and then he realizes that in order for this to work, he must draw the whole person, not just one part, so he begins to draw Zhao Ying completely, spending 5 hours drawing her. When he finishes, he announces that it is done, but nothing happens. She becomes doubtful, and she decides to leave. As she walks toward the door, she feels something strange. Suddenly, she disappears, and Ki-won and his friend are shocked. They do not know where she went, but then suddenly the drawing on the paper begins to shake, and she comes out of it. They cannot believe their eyes, and she is extremely happy because she can finally see again. Ki-won takes her out to see the city, since she has never seen it before. Meanwhile, his friend begins a relationship with a very beautiful woman, who turns out to be the influencer he always wanted to get close to. After some time, Ki-won goes again to the same exhibition where before the owner refused to let him in, he now offers to display his paintings there. The man, remembering him as a poor person, refuses again and mocks him, but Ki-won shocks him by saying that he will pay 5 million to display his paintings. The man quickly changes his mind, even going to Ki-won and offering him his chair. They arrange for a big auction to sell Ki-won's paintings. At the same time, news reports appear on television about strange incidents happening around the world. The first incident is the disappearance of the eyes of a Hollywood actress. The second incident is the disappearance of $20 million from a bank. That is the exact amount that Ki-won had drawn on paper. The last incident is the disappearance of luxury cars while their owners were still riding them. The media rushes to investigate all these cases. One reporter discovers that a villa appeared in the artist's neighborhood and disappeared on the same day. The police begin investigating immediately. They start collecting surveillance footage of these incidents and find the events very strange because the money vanished from a heavily guarded bank without anyone entering or leaving. The investigator decides to follow the case, tracking the missing money through the serial numbers printed on it. Here, Ki-won's enemy, Lichi, contacts the investigator. He tells him that he knows who stole the money and gives him Ki-won's name. He says that Ki-won is the only person who could have done this because suddenly he became rich even before calling. Lichi had been going crazy, wondering where Ki-won got all that money, looking around trying to figure it out. Then he sees the news report and immediately calls the police to report him. The investigator begins to monitor Ki-won. Suspicious of him, he soon discovers that the money Ki-won is spending at the auction directly matches the missing bank notes. Because they carry the same serial numbers, he decides to arrest Ki-won for questioning. The police summon him, causing problems at the auction. Since people thought Ki-won got his money from selling paintings, Ki-won tries to calm the situation and explain to the investigators that he did not steal anything. At this point, Ki-won still does not know that the money he draws does not come from nothing but is actually taken from the real world, and to prove what he says, he offers to demonstrate his power to the policeman. One of the officers tells him, "I want Ferrari car." Ki-won replies, "Give me some time and I will make it." He locks himself in the room with his drawings so that nobody can see what he is doing. He carefully draws the Ferrari exactly as requested. Suddenly, they all hear a strange sound from inside. When the doors open, everyone is shocked. Ki-won is sitting inside a Ferrari that has just appeared in the middle of the exhibition. This convinces them that he and his friends never stole anything in the normal way. He explains that it is a magical power, that he can do such things. They all return to Ki-won's house, still nervous, and start talking. They are afraid they will end up in prison. Ki-won realizes that the stick is not truly magical in the sense of creating things from nothing, but it transfers things instantly from one place to another. He becomes worried because he does not want to hurt anyone, but he also does not want to be seen as a thief and end up in jail. At the same time, the police investigator sees breaking news on TV about the disappearance of a Ferrari under mysterious circumstances. The car has the same plate numbers as the Ferrari that now sits in the exhibition. Because of this, the police begin close surveillance of Ki-won and his friends. Soon, they receive orders to arrest them on charges of theft. Ki-won notices that the police car is still parked outside, and he becomes worried because he does not want to go to prison. Suddenly, someone knocks at the door, and when it is opened, it turns out to be Ki-won's ex-girlfriend. She is shocked, her face full of bruises. As soon as she enters, she wants to talk to him, and it is clear she is depressed and exhausted. She begins to drink heavily and apologizes for abandoning him in the past and marrying Lichi instead. Ki-won is touched and begins drinking with her. He tells her that back then he was obsessed with painting and was not giving her attention. He also did not have money, while she needed money to pay her father's hospital bills. That is why he forgives her, saying that if he had been in her place, he would have done the same. They drink a lot until Ki-won becomes very drunk and begins to babble, revealing everything. He even goes to his safe, opens it, and shows her what he has. Then we discover the shocking truth. She is actually a spy sent by Lichi to find out Ki-won's secret and learn how he became so rich. We see that Lichi's plan has succeeded, and his eyes shine with greed, jealousy, and hatred toward Ki-won. Meanwhile, in another part of the house, Zhao Ying is sitting with Ki-won's friend. They are watching TV when a report comes on about the sudden disappearance of a Hollywood actress's eyes. Zhao Ying realizes that maybe those eyes were the same ones now on her face. Her friend beside her says that her eyes look exactly like the actress's. Zhao Ying feels guilt eating at her. The next morning, Ki-won wakes up and learns from his friends that he passed out from drinking too much. He is surprised to find the police already there. They demand that he hand over the magical stick or tell them the secret of how he does what he does, especially after they confirm that the Ferrari had vanished from its place and appeared in the exhibition in front of their eyes. Ki-won rushes with his friend and Zhao Ying into a room, and they begin discussing what to do. He is terrified of being imprisoned. They all vote whether to confess to the police about the stick or not, but they are afraid of ending up in jail. The police reassure them, saying they will not be jailed because there are no laws yet about such strange things. Ki-won goes to open the safe for them, but when he does, he is shocked there is nothing inside. No money, no gold, no stick. Ki-won realizes what happened last night. Lichi came in after Ki-won passed out drunk. He went to the safe, which Ki-won had left open, and stole everything, even taking his wife with him. We then see Lichi leaving the house while the police were still watching the place. They saw him leaving. leaving, but they could not stop him because he lied to them, saying he was just taking his wife home. At the same time, in another part of the city, we see a helicopter carrying Lichi with his assistants and his wife, who is tied up. He has the stick with him and begins thinking about what to draw. He decides to draw an art exhibition. Suddenly, a massive exhibition appears in the center of the city, destroying anything that was in its way. Lichi is amazed by its beauty. Then he decides to do something even greater. He wants to make himself an emperor. He draws huge palaces and crowns himself emperor. He draws imperial clothes, wears them with his followers, and imagines himself marrying the most beautiful woman in the world. But his followers ask, "What about your wife?" He says she is not the most beautiful, and he orders them to lock her in one of the rooms of the castle he drew. He then begins to draw his dream woman, the most beautiful girl in China, named Alice, who is a beauty queen. At that same moment, Alice is at a beauty contest. Just as the announcer declares her the winner and a crown is placed on her head, she suddenly disappears and reappears in front of Lichi. She is shocked, thinking she is dreaming. Lichi tells her he brought her here to marry her. She becomes angry, hits him in the face with the stick, and makes his nose bleed. His guards hold her so she cannot fight back. While the guards are threatening Alice to accept her new reality, the police arrive, wanting to take the magical stick, but Lichi refuses to give it to them, saying that the stick belongs only to him and that he wants to fulfill all his dreams, even if the drawing is just a way of transferring things from one place to another. T is revealed that the palace he drew now stands directly in the path of the airplanes that are supposed to land at the nearby airport. Then, Lichi decides he wants something even greater to escape Earth itself. He draws a spaceship, planning to fly into space. Suddenly, the real alien spaceship appears, the same kind from which the magical stick originally fell. Strange, violet-colored creatures with tails come down from the ship. One of them attacks Kiwon, showing great anger and trying to strangle him. Wanting to kill him, Kiwon tries to explain that the stick is no longer with him. Then, the aliens discover that the stick is with Lichi, who has already drawn a powerful tank. But the aliens use their power to turn the tank's cannon inward, aiming it at itself. Lichi panics, admits he was wrong, jumps out, and tries to apologize. The aliens beat him and his assistants and take the magical stick back. Lichi begs them to forgive him. The alien leader looks at the stick and realizes it has been corrupted, its power damaged. The aliens attack Lichi and are about to kill him, but Kiwon interferes, begging them to forgive Lichi. Kiwon tells them the truth, that it was he, not Lichi, who first misused the stick. The alien leader decides to forgive Lichi because Kiwon was brave enough to confess his mistake and showed kindness. While speaking to Kiwon, the alien leader begins to erase everything that Kiwon had created. All the magical drawings disappear. Everything returns to its original place. Even Zhao Ying loses her eyes again, returning to being blind as before in the end. The police arrest Lichi for kidnapping Alice and for attacking her. The movie ends at that point. He takes the money